Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Stardew Valley with LD7, and today we are going to be taking a look at some more of the aspects of the game. So last time we kind of got started, planted our crops, and kind of went over some of the base mechanics like the energy bar and things like that, what types of crops to grow, how to lay them out. Today, I kind of just want to show you how I like to play. The first thing I do if it's a sunny day is go water all of my crops, that way it's done, and I don't have to worry about running out of energy before I get everything taken care of on the farm. The reason why you want to prioritize this is your crops only grow if they're watered. Willie's on the beach, so we're going to head over to the beach while I'm talking. But basically you want to water your crops because if you do not water them, they will lose a day of growth, and that is not a good thing for you. Like, basically you're limited on the amount of time these crops can grow in general. They can only grow while it is spring, so there's only 28 days to grow the crops that I've got in our field right now. So you want to make sure that you're watering them every day so you can maximize the amount of crops that you're collecting, so you can maximize the amount of money you have, which you then can use to buy more seeds to scale up and like buy buildings, animals, all that other stuff that comes a little bit later in the game. As you saw there, we took a look in the mailbox and had a letter from Willie saying come down to the beach. If you haven't played before, when you go down to the beach, Willie is going to talk to you. You get this little cutscene, I'm just going to skip it, but you end up getting a bamboo fishing pole. So this is why we picked the Riverland farm, is because there's fishing in this game. And fish is actually one of the best way to get money in this game. So the way this works, there's a fish inside of this bar. Left mouse makes the bar go up, right mouse makes it go back down, and basically you got to keep the fish inside of that bar for long enough and you will eventually catch it. Now some fish are harder to catch than others, and they may move around more or things like that, but anyway, if you keep the bar directly on the fish the entire time, you should end up catching it. Alright, so we went and got our bamboo pole and talk to Willie. So I'm just gonna run back over here. Little mechanic, you can check in people's trash cans. Might sound a little gross, but sometimes you get cool stuff inside of that that you can either plant or sell or what have you. Over here there are more forageables. So we've got daffodil, we got a dandelion. Here's a person. There is like a journal thing to talk to every single person in the game, so if you see someone, talk to them. That way, you know, eventually you'll end up talking to all of them. This is the animal store. Later on in the game, you can buy animals and harvest, you know, like animal goods on your farm as well, which is a really good thing to do. I would suggest you do that before the winter. That way you at least have some sort of income rolling on in while it's cold and you can't grow plants. Outside of this, where we are right now is kind of called the forest, or like lake. Well, this is a lake area, but we're in the forest. This does link up to our farm. I'm going to show you that in just a minute, but I wanted to walk all the way over here because there is a specific character kind of tucked away over here, and if you haven't played before, you may not know this. So this is the wizard's tower. It's locked, you hear someone inside, so this will become available later. When it says you need to find a dark wizard or something like that, that's where you go. That's the wizard tower. He lives inside of there. It's part of the like storyline progression. There's this little area that opens up during the season, like the events sometimes. There's this abandoned house which you can add. It becomes relevant later on in the story, I forget, because I haven't played for a little while, but pretty cool. So this is the river. There's this little area over here. I would suggest you actually do walk all the way over here and cross this bridge as well, because there are these little onions over here, which, well, if our inventory wasn't full, so I think we'll get rid of the wood. Forget it. I want these onions. So these are good for two things. You can sell them, obviously, and make a little bit of money for free because you didn't have to water them or grow them or anything. Or you can save them and use them to eat. Like, you can eat them for energy as it becomes lower because you're doing things on the farm, what have you. I'm going to get rid of this daffodil since we have a couple of them already. That's not what I wanted. throw away, please. There we go, because I want this horseradish. Now, I believe I think that's all of the forageables for the spring, if I'm not mistaken. But this is kind of the lower area of the map. You do have to clear it out, but if you walk up this way, this is actually part of your farm. Now, it takes a little bit to get everything cleared out because there's a lot of stuff in your way, typically speaking. I haven't actually tried to do it in this farm setup before, but that's alright. Let's go ahead and, like, clear that, and... oh, alright, that's actually way easier than the regular farm. Normally you have to go through, like, a lot of stuff in order to make it all the way back, but we're going to throw in some of this stuff to sell. I kind of want to plant some of these rice shoots. We're going to put those in, and you know what, we're going to sell the onions as well. I am going to save the horseradish, I think. Now, we have rice, so I'm going to place one here, and we're just going to fill these in. We found these just by hitting, so if you ever are walking around and see worms kind of moving around in the ground, let's see if we can find some. Just to show you, it's like a specific animation. You'll know it when you see it. If you hit those with your hoe tool, so this guy right here, the hoe, it will go ahead and give you some sort of random generated loot. Typically speaking, it's going to be clay, but you can get seeds or other things like that as well. The other thing I kind of wanted to show you, so this is the town area. This is where everyone lives for the most part. Up this direction, you've got the fountain, you've got Haley, I want to say her name is? Yeah, okay. There's a playground, pretty cool. So you can build relationships with the characters, so sometimes it's helpful to know where they kind of hang out. So Haley's normally by that fountain. If you're looking for Haley specifically, that's where you can find them. Anyway, so this is kind of, that's the community center that we took a look at. That becomes unlocked a little bit later as well. But if we go up here, this is going to be the carpenter's house. We can't do anything with it yet, but basically she can add buildings to your farm, upgrade your house, and do a bunch of cool stuff like that. Over in this direction, you kind of walk around this fun little thing, and eventually you're going to end up finding this guy, Gus, or Linus, rather, not Gus, Linus. He's just a, you know, your friendly park hobo, or whatever, I guess. It's kind of his backstory, but I wanted to talk to him. So this guy is mining away at these rocks. Eventually he'll finish, and then you can access the mine right over there. There's another river on this part of the map as well. So the reason why I'm mentioning like all these features in the map locations is because once you start playing the game and more of the story becomes unlocked, you end up needing to go to specific places in order to progress. So each place, like general area of water, is going to have a different type of fish inside of it. So these are freshwater fish, obviously, because we're in like a mountain lake. So I think, I forget what all the categories are, but I think one of them is mountain, or something like that. This is where you count mountain fish, or the mountain fish. The beach, you catch saltwater fish. There's river fish, and there's one other area, I forget. But there, you want to know, like, kind of where to go. Another cool thing, if you go up this way, there is another little, like, shortcut thing. You run along this path. It is actually good to go up here because normally there are forageables. So we got a wild horseradish and a leek. Not too bad. And this staircase leads into our farm. So we are back. We do have to clear something probably to get through, but that's alright. There we go. So, made it back home anyway, and we're just gonna sell these guys in our inventory, and I think we're gonna go ahead and call it for today. But we went ahead, showed some places on the map, talked about a couple of things on how to get the fishing pole, that kind of stuff. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always, and until next time, this has been LD7, and we will see ya.